survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving.
There are goddesses that are girls and gods that are boys. You may wonder if they are worshipped by humans. If you think they are, you would be wrong about that. Really, they despise their kind. But it probably does not make any sense. So let me start from the beginning. You see, years ago, 4 lucky humans were given powers. The lucky 4 became the first gods. And no, not like Zeus or Hades. Their names were Alex, the god of time, Luke, the god of flames, Gale, the goddess of wind, and last but not least, Alice, the goddess of winter. Back then, they were worshipped, but over time, things began to change. Others began to gain powers. Even the children of the 4 were given powers. One of those few was a girl by the name of Winter. But the humans that were denied power became angry and began to hate the gods, feeling that it was only fair if they were given power too. That hate led them to the Dark War. The war lasted for many years, so long even Winter was old enough to join the fight. No one was able to claim victory. They all lost in some way. But that's when the 4 first gods decided their kind would go into hiding. To prevent another war, they would hide their powers and make sure their children would too. The school and villages of the gods would be hidden, where no human could ever find them. While some stayed where their kind belonged, others, like Winter, left thinking it would be better to raise their children among humans. After this, the original 4 gods disappeared, never to be seen again. And that's when 2 children were born who would change the world. Winter gave birth to a girl with white and light blue hair, just like her own. The child was pale as snow, yet was bright pink in her cheeks. Winter named the girl Snow because when she was born, she sneezed snowflakes, showing her powers which were the same as Winter's and Alice's. A year later, Winter gave birth to another small girl. She had black hair, but Winter was saddened to see she did not show any sign of having powers. So she named her Olivia. After Olivia was born, the father left, though no one ever knew why. The child Snow never remembered who her father was because she was too young. Winter never wanted to talk about the man. It was just too hard for her to remember him. The girls were very close. No one could split them up. But Winter always seemed to be more loving and caring to Snow, which made Olivia sad, but she never blamed Snow for it. Winter loved telling the girls stories about the gods, the friends she made at school, and all the adventures she had there. She had made the stories seem like fairy tales, made up for children. When they were alone, just Winter and Snow, she told Snow they were true stories. She said Snow needed to know because she was a goddess too. When Winter told them both the story of the war, Snow was only 5 years old. They both knew she wasn't telling them a fairy tale this time. But she hid her part in the war from Olivia. At the end of her story, Snow asked her mother, Olivia always blamed the gods. If Snow had been braver back then, she would have responded. But gods went into hiding. So Winter taught Snow how to hide her powers. But she also took Snow to the woods next to their human village every weekend and taught her how to use her powers. It was hard not being able to tell Olivia about what they were doing. But Olivia believed they were just exploring the woods. Olivia resented their mother for the ways in which she was treated differently. Feeling rejected by their mother, Olivia rejected Winter in return. The years passed, and the humans assumed that the gods all had died out. But even so, humans were still filled with hate and jealousy. Somehow their children were not. But Winter warned Snow that most of those children would likely grow up to be the same as their parents. Snow never lost hope in humans. Not long after Winter told them the story of the war, she walked into a blizzard and never came back out. 10 years have passed since her disappearance. And for those 10 years, Winter's best friend from school, Laura, has been taking care of the girls. Laura continued to raise them among humans, most likely because it was what their mother wanted. Yet Laura never seemed to mind it that much, living near humans. Since she never had kids of her own, she didn't have much of a reason to stay in gacha, a village of gods. Olivia never forgot or forgave her mother for everything she had done. But Snow could never find it in herself to hate her mother. Of course, that doesn't mean that she's not angry at her for leaving them. That brings us to the present, where our story begins.